Thanks for joining Real Estate Views with Karen Lynch today. The topic for discussion is home building. I have with me here Nick Pancato with Pancato Custom Homes. Nick's been building homes primarily in the DuPage County since the mid-1980s. He not only builds homes from the ground up, but also works with owners to do gut renovations and also some build outs.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you, Nick, for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me and talk about this. There's so many aspects to home building, the process, financing, architecture, construction and design, and so many other things. But I'm hoping that today you can just give some people some food for thought, if you will, if they are in the process of thinking of moving, and maybe this will help them decide, do I want to build new construction or should we buy an existing home?
Okay.
Yeah. So with let's just get right into the questions. So with your experience, what would you say the top 3 most important things would be for people to know about new construction prior to making that decision?
Well, first you have to decide where you want to live, what town you want to live in, what school districts, if you need access to the train, expressways, hospitals. That's number 1 thing you should decide on. Okay. Number 2, the town you want to live in. What do they have to offer for you as a homeowner? You know, how many parks do they have? Are the parks close?
Yes.
You know, what type of downtown district? You know, things like that.
Okay.
You know, for your lifestyle.
Okay. So I would assume, budget is obviously important as well.
Right. Budget is important because you have your land cost, number 1, and you've got to, back your land costs out of it. And then, then you decide what type of home you want to build and how big. And a lot of municipalities tell you how big of a home you can build on the lot that you purchase.
Right. So that's critical because you might want to live in, a certain community and have this idea about a home. And then, in fact, it can't even happen.
Right. There's a lot of homes, they don't want you to build these big monster houses on these small lots. And a lot of the infill properties are all small lots now. And so they don't want you to build too big of a home where you're going to be flooding out your neighbor or dwarfing your neighbor's home and things like that.
Okay. So obviously you've done this for quite a while, and I'm sure it's not a perfect process. What are some of the mistakes that you've seen people make over and over again, and how can they be avoided?
Well, you got to do your homework ahead of time. And people buy a piece of property and then they find out there's an easement running right through the middle of it. Like a sewer or utility easement where you can't build on that. You could look at it, or your lot could be in a floodplain. Zoning restrictions. They've got, you may want to be able to put a pool in, but they tell you can't put a pool in because you're going to cover up too much ground space. You can't do a 3-car garage. You're covering up your big, you're covering up too much ground space for your water penetration. They're concerned about flooding.
Okay. So not understanding the actual lot and, its capabilities as it relates to building. Is that kind of the most common? Is there others that you can think of? That's
pretty much the most common. People buy a lot, they fall in love with it, and they realize they can't build as big of a house as they wanted to build there, or they can't put a fence up. They may have a requirement only 4-foot fences. We want to put a 6-foot privacy fence in, or corner lots you can only fence in certain portions of it.
And so, who do you rely on to get that information? Is it the realtor? Are you looking for a builder before you look for a lot? What's your best practice?
You probably need to rely on the builder more than anything because he knows the requirements of each municipality.
Okay.
So you probably want to talk with several builders before you decide where you want to build and get their input on it.
Okay. And as a builder, do you do that often for people?
Yeah, there's a lot of times I do a lot of homework for people, and tell them what you can build, what you can't build, and then let them decide what they want to do.
So, as a builder, and obviously, could be a little plug for your company, but what would you advise people to look at or think about when they're trying to seek out a builder? How do they find the right builder?
You really have to click with the builder. You're marrying this builder for, the process of building, and then for a year afterwards, because every home I've ever built, I always give a 1-year builder's warranty for nail pops, drywall cracks, miscellaneous things like that. So you have to someone you get along with.
Yeah. Okay. So that's important.
Right.
Do you often hear that people are asking for referrals from you? Do they look at your properties?
I give them addresses. I don't give out referrals because every home I build is custom, so I think it's like an invasion of their privacy.
Okay.
I'll give them an address, they can drive by and look at the house.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. Thank you again so much for some of that insight, and hopefully it'll help people think about some additional items that they may not have thought about in making that decision to build a new home. So appreciate it once again. Much continued success to you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in today. Whether you're following my podcast on Facebook, SoundCloud, or YouTube, don't miss the next episode. Like or subscribe now to Real Estate Views with Karen Lynch. Tune in and find news and views that you can use. See you next time.